In other news, I'm sure you're all familiar with the e-bikes and shared scooters as company after company floods the streets with them. So much so that whole social media accounts have actually even been set up dedicated to destroying them in various creative ways. But love them or hate them, they're seemingly here to stay. And it turns out that riders enjoying their convenient services may need more protection than just a helmet when starting up the motor. I'm talking about personal insurance, like the kind that you would get for your standard car. And it all started in 2018 when an e-bike rider was charged with both causing death by reckless driving as well as causing death while uninsured for running into and fatally injuring a pedestrian in London. And this in turn has caused insurance to become a big issue worldwide. But now you're probably thinking, as I am, where do you get scooter insurance? Well, if you're in Israel, you're in luck. Tel Aviv-based Bambi Dynamic is filling the gap in the market with a personalized cloud-based software that lets mobility service providers create and offer on-demand personalized insurance packages. The cost largely depending, again, on the rider's use data. So is private personalized insurance the future of ride-sharing services? And if not, what else can be done to make these services a safer venture for everyone involved? Joining me to discuss is Ofir Cohen, Director of the Transport, Traffic and Parking Authority with the Tel Aviv-Yafo municipality. Thank you so much for being with us. Now, have you heard of any similar cases in Israel in which a scooter or e-bike rider has been charged with killing or injuring a pedestrian?
Actually not. I'm not familiar with that issue, and it's all for the responsibility of the state, the government to decide the law and the requirements for insurance. We here in Tel Aviv defined a regulation that requires the companies and the riders to behave and conduct according to the existing law, but it's up to the national government to decide whether they require insurance or not.
Well, so, do you know of any associated dangers with these scooters or e-bikes, in the legal realm?
Of course. Any mode of transportation in the roads is, by definition, has some danger. Not to mention the e-bikes, which are not easy to ride, and you have to know how to ride them. Therefore, the regulation requires you to have a specific theory on riding, and you have to be above 16. The shared companies that are operating in Tel Aviv are allowing rider only at the age of 18 to take ride on those scooters. And we, the municipality, decided to enforce additional regulation on the riders, including provision of helmets, reducing speeds in dangerous areas, and also restrictions of riding in areas that are blessed with the pedestrians that are also in danger.
Are we also doing maybe more in the city and elsewhere, to your knowledge, to separate the space that e-bike and scooter riders are in as opposed to pedestrians?
Correct. That's our main goal in the city, to provide good and safe bike lanes to all kind of private vehicles, bicycles, e-scooters, electric or non-electric. So by providing them a separated bike lane, we also protect them, but more important, protect the pedestrian from meeting them on the sidewalks. So therefore, we launched recently a very ambitious plan to network the entire city with 350 kilometers of bikes. Wow. The plan is on the table for the public to respond to. And by the end of the year, we will conclude it and continue with the very tedious work of connecting the city.
All right, well, so do you think that insurance like that of Bambi Dynamic, which I discussed earlier, will be the solution to any of the issues right now?
No, I think insurance is one of the elements that requires to support, to solve the financial problems of getting hurt. But let's face it, the core elements are safe infrastructure, education, and enforcement. And we are operating in those three fields very strongly by educating the kids at schools and in other modes, by enforcing them very aggressively when riding on the sidewalks illegally. And of course, by providing the infrastructure that will allow them to ride safely.
All right, Ofir Cohen, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us.
Thank you so much.